Today's adventure is going to be a little bit different. Today I am going to attempt to make macarons. Never made them before. Going to try it for the first time. We'll see what happens. Alright, so here we go. Looks like we have a huge mess here, which in a way we do. Like I said, I've never made these before. I'm going to attempt it. I have my recipe book. I'm going to attempt to make the banana shells, except the dried fruit I have is bananas and strawberries, so I guess it's going to be a banana and strawberry shell. And then I'm going to make the buttercream filling. But the first thing we have to do is we need about 2 tablespoons of freeze-dried bananas. So in this case, bananas and strawberries. This is what our freeze-dried strawberries and bananas look like. We're just going to put them in our food processor and grind them up for, I think it said like 10 seconds first. Let's see. Okay, so then it says sift a half a cup of almond flour with 1 tablespoon and a half a cup of powdered sugar and 2 tablespoons of our freeze-dried banana strawberry mixture. All right, can you see that? Yeah, all right. When my daughter heard that I wanted to try to start making macaroons, she bought me a kit for Christmas, not knowing that I'd also bought myself a kit, but she also bought me this nice little Tupperware bowl, which we're going to use for our dry ingredients right now. Get it through our sifter. This recipe supposedly will make 24 wafers, which will make, in turn, make 12 cookies. All right, now we'll just sift it. So yeah, there's still a few crumbles in here, and I think that's more or less the bananas and the strawberries. They didn't clean up all the way on the inside, but that's why I just went ahead and dumped the whole thing in. All right, I think that's what we needed in that. And then just mix it up like that, and we're going to get back to that in a little bit. And now we have to do our eggs. We need egg whites from 2 large eggs. One of the tips I saw was to have them at room temperature. So I do have them at room temperature. So I'm going to get our egg whites out. Oops. Okay. And we're just going to get the yolks. Okay. All right, gonna wash our hands again. Cooking always requires a lot of hand washing, doesn't it? Just a pinch of salt will help stabilize the egg whites. So now we're gonna whip them up, and we want them to become peaks. All right, now let's just mix them up. And of course, this is going to take forever. All right, now that they've gotten frothy, I need to start adding some granulated sugar to them. You're supposed to add a little bit at a time. Another half a cup. So here's my first half a cup. I'm going to do about that much of that. You don't want to add all the sugar at once. Just do it a little bit at a time, they said. Just to incorporate it real nice. Now we'll get the second quarter of a cup ready. Let's see. Do we get stiff peaks yet? Oh, my peaks are a little floppy yet, so I got a little bit further to go, but we're getting there. All right, yeah, We got some pretty good stiff peaks there, I think. Not really falling over much. All right, I think that's going to do it for our stiff peaks. So I picked up a little bit of food coloring as well. And that was probably way too much. But let's mix it in real quick. All right, now we're supposed to add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients like a third at a time, and then fold it into something they called a macaronage or something like that. But all right, let's get all of our wet ingredients out first. Now we add about a third of this mixture, they said. That was probably more like half. And then start mixing it up. That spoon's not, or that spatula is not going to cut it. All right, I think this spoon will work a little bit better than this soft spatula will. There we go. So I guess in the past they said you're supposed to do this like 30-some times gently, but then they've learned that being a little bit aggressive with it actually works better. So my first time, I have no idea. All right, let's get the rest of that in there. Mix it all up. I think I smell bananas. Wonder why. Okay, I think that might do it. All right. Get my cookie pan out, put my mixer over here. Okay. All right, like I said, I've got two kits. One I bought, one my daughter bought me. I think the piping comes next. Let's see if that's what the instructions say. Okay, let's see what's in here. Yeah, so that's my one kit right there. Hopefully you can see that. This is the parchment sheet. And I guess I'm supposed to make them that big. Let me see what the other one looks like. I think I like the other one's circles better. I guess this comes with two mats, this one here. And oh, and a couple for smaller pans. All right, so they're about the same, really. Now with this one here, I have all kinds of weird things. I have a bag with lots of tips, and it looks like a brush. I think I just need one that makes a nice big hole for now. What did I get with this one? Got that. Got these tips. So I can put one of these tips on it. All right. Wash it out first. All right, I washed it and I got it pretty dry. So I'm gonna try this tip here, I guess. These other ones look like fancy tips. So yeah, we'll just go with the circle one. Put that on there. All right, let's see if we can't get our stuff in here. So, have you ever made macarons? Do you like macarons? I like them. I think they're fun to eat. I think they're very expensive, which is why I wanted to try and make them myself. All right, there we go. Yeah, always messy. These things are messy. They take a lot of time. All right, let's see if we can't get it down to the end. Oh, there we go. It's coming out. Okay. So now I think this is supposed to make 12 of them. Let's see if we can pipe this. Can you see this? I think I could do this. $30. All right. Ooh, one thing I know from watching all the cooking shows is you've got to tap down that little piece there. I think mine might be, I don't know if they're going to be too stiff, too dry, or what. Too big, too flat. I'm probably going to need a lot of practice with this. They're going all over the place right now. All right, so something else that they said, and everybody said, you have to drop them several times to get the air out. I'm not going to drop them on my glass stove. Now I've got the camera set up over there, so just listen for a minute. All right, they have been dropped. And now I'm supposed to let them sit for about an hour. All right, so I'll be back in an hour. All right, here they are. They've been sitting for an hour. They say if you can go across it, yep, it's got a nice little crust there. All right, I've preheated the oven. It's at 300 degrees. So now all I have to do is pop them in and let them bake. Now the recipe book says 14 minutes, but another thing that I've been keeping an eye on says 17 minutes. So we'll look at the 14 minutes first and see what happens. Hey Siri, set a timer for 14 minutes.
14 minutes, counting down.
There we go. All right, I'll be back in 14 minutes. Okay, that's been another 3 minutes. They should be done now. I hope so. And not overdone. All right, so here we go. Our feet on them aren't perfect. As you can see, that area around there, it's a little bit wider than it should be. Some of them are okay. Some of them, it got a little bit too wide. But for my first batch, not too bad, not too bad. Probably a little overcooked in some areas. All right, I think I gotta let it sit for a couple minutes and then take it off and put it on a cookie sheet to cool. All right, so they just come right off the thing like that. And yeah, the bottoms look really, really good. I'm just gonna loosen them all up, and then I'm supposed to let them cool for about 15 minutes on the cookie sheet. This one, obviously, the foot got too big. You can see it on the back side as well. But it's got the foot. I think a little bit of work, Not bad for my first attempt. Look at that smooth side right there, though. And yeah, you can see the little bit of the bump right there. I'm not sure how much is acceptable for a macaron and how much isn't. A little bit of their peep shape right there. All right, so We'll be back when it's time to put them on the cookie sheet. All right. I'm gonna let those cool for about 15 minutes or so. Then we'll get to work on our filling. Okay, so these are pretty cool. So now we're gonna go on and we're gonna make the vanilla bean buttercream. So we need a half a cup of unsalted butter softened. We need 3 tablespoons of almond milk. I was hoping to get a little bit less than a half a gallon, but it's the best I could do at my local store. And I hope this is what they mean by almond milk. All right, 3 tablespoons of almond milk. Then we need 3 tablespoons of powdered sugar. 1, 2, and 3. All right, 3 tablespoons of powdered sugar. What else do we need? We also need 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. All right, there we go, 1 teaspoon. All right. Now it says use a electric mixer on medium speed. Beat the butter until pale. Oops. Yeah, I was supposed to beat it up first. Oops. I made a mistake. We're going to see if we can't get it to work like this, though. Let's just try. All right. That looks pretty good. Even though I didn't do it the way the recipe told me to do it, I think it's going to turn out okay. So now the next part, I think it says just put it in the piping bag and pipe a dollop on it, and then put the 2 halves together. All right, let's see if we can't get all this in here now. Hopefully without making a mess, right? Okay, that looks pretty good. Now to get it down in the bag. Okay, there it goes. All right, let's try this. So, yeah, none of them are perfect. It'll take a little bit of work, right? Okay, let's get rid of the bowl. All right, so here we go. We'll pipe a little bit on there. Like that. Oh, that's probably a little too much. Put another one on, squish it together, and there is our first macaron. How does that look? Beautiful, yes? Perfect? No. Beautiful? Yes. All right, let's see if we can't pipe up a few more of these. That actually took a little bit more strength than I thought one-handed. And it's hard to control it. Whoops, looks a little funny. Let's just do a few and then we'll put the other side on. All right, there's that. Like I said, nice and solid there. Let's see what it looks like with the knife. Yeah, they're a little roly-poly. I gotta work on that. All right, let's see. I think this might be one of my best ones. Oh, there. It's probably better on that side. Let's see. Okay. A little overcooked, I think. But we're going to try eating it next. All right, here they are. So let's try this one first. Oh, it broke apart a little bit on the bottom there too. Not bad, not bad. Flavor is actually pretty good. Let's try biting one that's whole. Mmm. Yep, it is falling apart a little bit. So yeah, I think it's a little overcooked. I can work on that. The flavor is good. It's not too bad, it's just a little crumbly. I think it's a pretty good first attempt. By the way, I'm Val, and you're watching videos about life. If you enjoyed this little adventure of mine, hit the like button. Subscribe. You get to see more videos like this. In the meantime, I'm going to finish my cookie. They do say it's best if you let them set for 24 hours, but they're not at all surprised if you have to taste test one ahead of time. And that's exactly what we're doing, is taste testing ahead of time. Good taste test too. Until next time, bye-bye.